All right. So welcome. This is the 15-minute scoliosis reset. So for anyone that has been diagnosed with scoliosis or knows they have mild scoliosis, like I was told I had in my teens, and then I was able to bring myself out of that spinal curvature and realign the spine. So this is all about how to realign your spine because it can be majority of the time a muscle imbalance there. So we dive a lot deeper into that, and yeah, we'll jump right in. So realign your spine, restore your energy, and move pain-free without surgery or braces. So the problem. First, an introduction. I'm Tom. I'm a holistic health coach and check practitioner. I help people out with scoliosis, move better, feel stronger, and realign their posture from the inside out using simple, proven methods that work. This workshop is a sneak peek into something bigger I offer, the bulletproof body. That's where I work with clients long term to correct scoliosis, posture, back, joint, and muscular pain and rebuild their health from the ground up using corrective exercise, breath work, strength training, nutrition, stress regulation, and more. But today I'm not here to pitch you. I'm here to help you understand where your posture might be making your scoliosis worse. Take your own assessment from home, so there's no appointment needed. Learn a simple, effective daily routine that supports your spine. You're probably here because something feels off. Maybe you've been dealing with chronic stiffness, pain, fatigue, or been told that you have a curve in your spine that's slowly gotten worse over time. You've been told to stretch more, wear a brace, get scans, and wait and see. But deep down, you know there has to be a better way, one that actually looks at your body as a whole and helps you regain control. Today's about giving you that clarity and your next step. So, why posture and scoliosis are connected? Scoliosis isn't just a spinal condition, it's a full body pattern. Your posture is a reflection of how your spine, muscles, breath, and nervous system interact. When you have scoliosis, the spine curves, but it also rotates. That twist changes how your rib cage expands, so your breath becomes shallow, and usually you're breathing high up into the chest. Your core stabilizes. Deep muscles, they will shut down because you're actually not activating them correctly. Hips and shoulders load force. So that will lead to pain, tightness, or poor balance. Poor posture isn't just a side effect of scoliosis, it's often what keeps it stuck. And here's the key. By restoring postural alignment and breath-driven core control, we can reduce compensation, free up movement, and support the spine back into balance. So how scoliosis affects performance and physiology. So poor postural alignment, especially in the presence of scoliosis, doesn't just cause local pain. It affects your entire system. Shallow breathing. So when your ribs rotate or flare due to spinal curvature, it restricts full diaphragmatic breathing. So diaphragmatic breathing is breathing into the belly and into the chest at the end of the breath. So instead of breathing deeply into your belly, you breathe high into your chest, which keeps your body stuck in a low level fight or flight, which is a sympathetic state. Over time, this can increase anxiety, stress, and fatigue, even if you're otherwise doing all the right things. So reduced core engagement. Good posture activates your deep core reflexively. But with scoliosis, your alignment is compromised. So those deep stabilizers like the TVA and the multifidus don't fire properly. TVA is a transverse abdominis, which is your inner layer of your abdominals, and that helps support your spine and pretty much every movement you do. Without that support, your spine is more vulnerable and basic movements can start to feel harder than they should. Muscular imbalance and injury risk. One side of your body does more than the other. Over time, the strong side gets tighter, the weak side gets lazier, and your body loses its rhythm. That's a fast track to overuse injuries, stiffness, and reduced performance under load, whether you're training or just living your day. Increased stress on joints and discs. If your structure is out of alignment, your joints and discs are forced to absorb forces unevenly. This means more pressure on your neck, low back, hips, or knees, especially during long work days or training sessions. Lower presence, confidence, and energy. When you're hunched, twisted, or collapsed, you feel it. It shows up in your mood, your attention span, your energy levels, and even how others respond to you. Realignment isn't just physical. It directly influences your confidence and state of mind. Your posture is a mirror of your nervous system. When you're stuck in a high alert state from physical compensation or emotional stress, your body will curl in, lock up, and try to protect you. Shoulders tense, breathing shortens, and the spine compresses. Correcting posture, especially with scoliosis, requires more than just strengthening and stretching. It's about calming the system, retraining patterns, and building balance from the inside out. Through the check lens, posture is not just biomechanical, it's energetic. So your spine is an energetic highway. And when it's twisted or overloaded or blocked, it disrupts how you show up in every area of life, from movement to mindset and motivation. So realigning your posture is realigning your personal power. What really causes scoliosis to worsen? So scoliosis often starts with a curve, but what makes it worse over time is the way we live and move every day. It's not just one big injury or event, it's the subtle repeated habits. So sitting for hours with no awareness of alignment, always carrying bags or tools on the same side, standing with weight dumped into one hip, training hard in the gym but reinforcing asymmetries, so reinforcing those imbalances to basically compound it, breathing into one side of the ribs every single day, so that the curve might start and then you're breathing into one side, and without actually consciously breathing into the compressed side, it's just going to worsen that and just help contribute to that concave in the spine. So modern life pulls us away from natural movement. We're sitting more, moving less, and repeating the same dysfunctional patterns. And our spine adapts to that shape. So look around in any office or public space. Heads jutting forward, shoulders slouched, ribs flared. It's not laziness, it's unawareness. And when these patterns go unchecked, your body just doesn't get tight. It locks into dysfunction until discomfort, pain, or fatigue forces you to stop and pay attention. This workshop is your opportunity to hit pause, reconnect with your body, and learn how to interrupt those patterns before they spiral into long-term problems. You're here because you want to take ownership, and that starts with awareness. So what you'll learn today: how to assess your posture and scoliosis patterns at home, the 3 most common imbalance patterns, a proven 15-minute daily reset to support your spine and realign your posture, how to build consistency and move toward lasting results. So your scoliosis and postural self-assessment. So below is a postural self-assessment for you to try after this workshop. You're going to be able to pinpoint where is out of balance on your body. So what you need is a phone or a camera and a full-length mirror. Or you don't need the full-length mirror, you can just use phone alone. A wall to stand against, but preferably a blank wall, and then a checklist, which we have below. So the instructions: take 4 photos. First one of the front view, and what you're looking for are the shoulders level? Do your knees lean inwards, which is often called knock knee or valgus knee? Do arms hang unevenly? Is your head shifted to one side? Is there a bigger gap between your arm and body on one side? So these things indicate a torsion, a compression, and muscle imbalance and tightness. Side views, is your ear in line over your shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle? So going straight down, there should be a line that you could draw all through those, and that would ideally be perfect posture. Can you see a torsion or twist in the body? So that would look like from one side you can see more rib cage, and then when you look at the other side you can't. So then you can actually see there is a torsion or twist in the body. Do you have a flat back or excessive curve in your lower back? Is there noticeable forward head posture? Is there an exaggerated curve or rib flare? Back view, are the shoulder blades symmetrical? Hips at the same height? Feet flat, pronated. Pronated is, yeah, flat feet, so rolled inwards. Any visible spinal curve. So that'll be a pretty obvious one. If you can see a curve in the spine, and something to help you with that is getting a pencil or like a makeup pencil or something you can wipe off skin easy and mark each vertebrae. And then you can actually see the curve in the spine, and you can do the same for your shoulder blades. And then you can really see where everything's sitting. So then the bonus there is the forward bend test. So just standing in front of someone, or get someone to stand in front of you, and then you just bending forward, and then they can see the rib hump, which will just indicate a rotation in the body. Is one side more raised than the other? Write down 2 to 3 key things you notice. This is your starting point. So here's the checklist here. Few common things to look for. Yes, no. Write down the imbalances there. So again, that's knees locked or hyperextended. Just you'll see it side on view. There's just like the knees are locked out. They're not standing, and they're in a straight down alignment. They're kind of almost bowed a bit, like, yeah, that's a hyperextension. And then you've got your anterior pelvic tilt, which is anterior is a pelvic tilt forward, which will result in a bigger curve in your lumbar spine. And then a posterior pelvic tilt will be a tilt to the back, which will result in a flat back, a flat lower back. So write down 1 to 2 key imbalances you notice. And then here are some common patterns. So the first one is a thoracic curve. So the right thoracic is most common. So it's a curve in the mid to upper back, and the spine curves to the right, causing a rib hump on the right when bending forward. The right shoulder will be elevated. The rib will flare on the convex side. So the convex side is the lengthened side, and the concave side is the compressed side. Breathing restriction on the concave side. So exactly right. You're going to be compressed like this. It's going to be harder to breathe into that side. So something to be wary of, and it'll be a visible sign. Common impact, forward head posture, reduced thoracic rotation, asymmetrical shoulder mechanics. All right, lumbar curve. So left lumbar. The curve location is in the lower back, and the pattern is the spine curves to the left, often raising the left hip. So it means that it curves that way, so then that hip there will be raised. Visible signs, hip imbalance, uneven waist crease, core activation issues. So common impact, pelvic tilt, quadratus lumborum tightness or QL, glute inhibition, uneven gait or stride pattern. So you can see that the glute inhibition and the uneven gait just by looking at someone's walking, and there might be a hip drop there. So A gait assessment is really important in picking up this sort of stuff too. Thoracolumbar curve is the location of the curve is in the junction between the mid back and the low back. So right in the middle of the back. And the pattern is a single curve across the midline, often subtle but structurally disruptive. So the visible signs, rib cage and pelvis shift laterally in opposite directions. So the rib cage will be shifting that way, and then the pelvis will be shifting that way. Common impact, trunk rotation, difficulty separating upper and lower body movement, and postural confusion. So the body is just kind of confused and is trying to bring you into alignment and the center of gravity, but there's a lot of different things going on there. So it can be quite complex. The S curve, which is the double major. So the curve location is typically a right thoracic and a left lumbar combination, and it looks like an S shape to balance the spine visually. Visible signs, one shoulder and opposite hip may be elevated, may appear straight from the front, but twisted on closer inspection. Common impact, so full body tension, misalignment through multiple joints, challenging to self-correct without targeted support. These are common but not permanent, and we can reset them. So here's your healthy spine, the one on the left here, and then here's your rib hump test with the bend forward. So you'd normally see the rib hump as you do here on these other ones. So that's a mild scoliosis. That's more of an S. These are all S kind of curves. And you can see as it progressively gets worse, how much bigger that rib hump gets. And that's just the left side's compressed and the right is twisted out in the ribs. So the ribs have nowhere to go but out. And it's quite severe in some cases. And then these are the patterns. So you got the normal, then we've got the thoracic curve. So that's up in the upper mid back, the thoracolumbar. So that's right in the middle back. And then the lumbar, that's just down the bottom. And then the double curve right there. The 4 pillars to realigning scoliosis and building postural strength. These are the 4 non-negotiables I teach every client with scoliosis, because real change doesn't come from just stretching or hoping it improves. It comes from working with your body intentionally every day. Awareness. You can't change what you're not aware of. With scoliosis, your posture often adapts to the curve, and over time, those compensations feel normal. That's why self-checks are key. Are my ribs stacked or flaring? Is my head centered or drifting to one side? Am I leaning into one hip? Is my core gently engaged or collapsed? This pillar builds the self-regulation needed for long-term correction. Mobility. We need to create space where the spine has been pulled out of balance. With scoliosis, certain muscles become short and overactive, while others are long and weak. Focus on releasing the tight side of the curve, often areas like hip flexors and psoas, especially on the forwardly tilted or dominant side. Your lats, which are your big muscles down the side under your arms here, and your SEMs at the front here of your neck, connected to rib rotation and shoulder imbalance. Pec minor and major, common with forward shoulder rotation and also scapular winging. Upper abdominals, they can compress the thorax and inhibit breath. Mobility isn't just about range, it's about restoring symmetry. Stability. Once space is restored, we need to activate and strengthen the deep stabilizers that keep your posture upright and balanced, even under stress. The scoliosis, the stabilizers on the weaker side are often underactive. So we target the transverse abdominis and the deep core, central to spinal support, glutes and hamstrings, especially the underused side, and they will also help with anterior pelvic tilt. Your lower traps and rhomboids, they are key for your scapula, your shoulder blades, and thoracic control, and really getting up in a nice, good postural alignment and stance. Your deep neck flexors, they help reduce forward head posture and upper trap dominance. So true correction comes from training the body to hold itself well, not from external bracing. Breath. This is the most overlooked pillar and one of the most powerful. Scoliosis often compresses one side of the rib cage, limiting full diaphragmatic breath. When breath is shallow, the nervous system stays in a reactive stress state. That tension locks your posture in place. Proper breath creates expansion, regulation, and activation from the inside out. Practice this sequence. Inhale through the nose. Expand the belly for the first 2/3 of the breath. You can even put your hand on your belly to get that mind-body connection there. Then allow the ribs and chest to lift slightly for the last third. And then exhale slowly through the nose or mouth. I just like to stick to a nasal breath, but some people like to exhale through the mouth. Focus on expanding into the concave side of your curve. So the focus on expanding into the compressed side of your body, and really try and even just put your hand on there and try and breathe into your hand. So these 4 pillars, when practiced consistently, don't just support scoliosis. They help you move through life with more confidence, balance, and strength. So here's the daily reset routine. First off, diaphragmatic breathing for 2 to 3 minutes. So why are we doing this? Expands compressed ribs, calms the central nervous system, and activates a deep core. So standing, seated, or supine, laying down on back on a foam roller long ways is great. One hand on your belly, one on side ribs. So the side ribs that are compressed. Inhale 3D through your nose into your belly and ribs. So 3 by 3D, I mean trying to expand anteriorly to the front, laterally to the sides, and posteriorly to the back. So 3 in a 3D direction. When you breathe, the first 2/3 of your breath should go into the belly, last 1/3 into your chest. Focus on breathing into the compressed side. Then fully exhale through the nose or mouth and draw the belly until it's empty, but don't strain as this is a relaxing exercise. The hip flexor contract, relax, stretch. So 2 sets per side, and especially more on the tighter side. So I'd go 2 at least on both sides, and then maybe do 3 or 4 sets on the tighter side, which will be the side that has more of an anterior tilt and compression. So this will reduce anterior tilt and quadratus lumborum compression, which it goes from your lumbar spine, that muscle, down to your hip, and that tightness there can really contribute to lower back pain, and especially on the concave side here. So how do we do this? 5 seconds, physically contract the front of the hip muscles and resist pushing forward. So it's like there's an imaginary resistance there. And then 5 seconds, relax deeper into the stretch as you let go of the contraction. 3 to 5 reps each side. Do twice as many sets on your concave side if it's tighter, which it will be. So Swiss ball, oblique, and QL stretch, 1 to 2 minutes each side. So why are we doing this? It is to decompress the spine, stretch the concave side, and create rib cage expansion. So reach long through the concave compressed side as you lay on your side over the Swiss ball. Slightly rotate the chest downward to feel the stretch in the QL. This, as we spoke about previously, this muscle creates a lot of low back pain when short and tight. Breathe into the lower ribs and waist. Do it twice as many times on the compressed side. So yeah, highly recommend getting a Swiss ball because you can do so many exercises and stretches on it. And this is just one. And it's probably one of the best ones for opening up the front of the body, the side of the body, the back. It's just an all-rounder. And more and more people need to be doing this to open up after a long day of sitting, which creates that compression on the front of the body. Wall angels. So 2 to 3 sets for 10 to 12 reps. Why are we doing this one? Realign thoracic spine and scapula and open up the rib cage. So stand against the wall, back flat and ribs are down. So you want that back to stay in contact with the wall by drawing in your belly button and tucking the pelvis and tucking the chin. Arms as shown, moving overhead while keeping contact with the wall. Your lower back stays touching the wall the whole time. Don't flare your ribs. If you are flaring your ribs, it's your body compensating for the lack of overhead mobility, and also, yeah, it's just putting pressure on your lower back. And even if you can only go so high, try and do some stretching in the shoulders to release the muscles there before, if you are getting stuck, and then go again and just focus on keeping that lower back and belly drawn in and in contact with the wall as much as you can. Glute bridges with core activation. So 2 to 3 sets for 10 to 12 reps. So this corrects pelvic tilt, activates glutes, and stabilizes the lower spine or the lumbar spine. So layers shown, lifting up and holding for 3 seconds, squeezing glutes and hamstrings, and then exhale at the top. Shoulders and neck stay touching the ground. Keep the core engaged by drawing the belly button in and lower slowly. Both sides will be firing equally here. So that's where you've got one side that is overused and one side underused. So by training both sides, we're getting them both firing equally. If you notice one's really weak, one side, then you can do some single leg stuff just on that side, and that'll just hit it so much harder than doing both legs at once. So if you've got a weak side, maybe get some support off a Swiss ball, put your other leg on a Swiss ball, and then just do single leg on the weak side with that leg on the ground. Cross crawl or dead bug for 1 to 2 minutes. So this integrates left and right coordination and nervous system balance. So just laying on your back, arms and legs off the ground as shown, arms extended, knees at 90 degrees, opposite arm and leg extend above head and below your leg down below, arm up above, and that's on the exhale. So then your core stays engaged and touching, and the lumbar spine touching the ground by drawing in the belly button towards the spine. Ensure the spine stays touching the ground, and we want to be doing this with a slow, controlled, and rhythmic kind of movement. You can do the standing version, which is called the cross crawl, and it's basically just standing up, feet hip width apart, lift your right knee to your left arm, and then alternate right knee to left arm, left knee to right arm, focusing on your breath, keeping that good postural alignment, and yeah, continuing on. Focus on cross-body activation, not speed. Foam roller longitudinal. So this is, everyone should have this in their toolkit. A long, skinny foam roller that you can lay from the top of your head down to your lumbar spine. So just laying on it 2 to 3 minutes long ways, tuck the pelvis and chin so the spine is touching the foam roller. And then again, diaphragmatically breathing into your belly, and then just relax. Have your arms out. You can move your arms around to the side and above your head and open up the chest more. But if you just want to lay there for 2 to 3 minutes, that's just going to help decompress your body after being in a kyphotic state all day. So it's really going to help with your posture and alignment. So posture in daily life. This is where most people miss the mark. It's not about fixing posture to support your scoliosis just during exercise. It's about awareness throughout your entire day. So your desk setup, monitor at eye level, hips and knees at 90 degrees, feet flat, and core gently braced. So when you got your feet flat, that actually just cued me to sit up a bit straighter. So my feet are flat, and you want to be really kind of sitting on your butt muscles more. So you do have a slight curve in your lumbar spine there. And that's just how the spine naturally wants to sit. Because you see now there's the lower back support in a lot of chairs, and that's basically just doing what you can do without that, like by just sitting on your bum properly. Um, and then the use of a Swiss ball actually really helps you activate that kind of proper seating stance, seating posture, I should say. So standing and walking, slight glute engagement, not too much, just like so you know you're driving out of your feet, ribs stacked over hips. So feeling like you're not flaring or forward, you're just nice stacked alignment. Eyes are forward and not down. So trying to, obviously you got to look at what's in front of you, but trying to keep your eyes relatively horizontal. Chest up and out, but not over exaggerated. Head in good alignment and relaxed, but aware. So that's just bringing that mind-body connection and that awareness into the body. Phone use. So this is a massive one. Everyone on their phones now in TikTok wormholes, um, with their posture just like puts so much strain on their neck for like 2 hours. They don't even realize they've been there for that long. So trying to bring it up to eye level, avoiding the head drop and just having regular breaks. We're all going to be on our phones, but just having that body awareness and trying to not put that excessive strain on your body for long periods of time. Set hourly or every other hour posture reminders if you really struggle. It's the consistency, not perfection, that rewires your posture. Final thoughts and what's next. So, congrats, you just gave yourself a huge gift by being here. You increased your scoliosis and postural awareness and what the common causes are. You learn the core dysfunctions and corrections and got a practical, repeatable daily routine. You've taken the first step towards lasting change, and if you're feeling inspired to keep going, I want to make sure you know where to go next. So if you're ready for more, inside the Bulletproof Body, which most of you are, we build your personalized corrective plan, track progress every 4 weeks, and support your alignment through posture, movement, breath, mindset, and more. But for now, start with what you've learned today. Stick with it, track your progress. You'll be surprised what your body can do with consistency, awareness, and the right system. So here's just a bonus postural tracker. You can go from week 1, 2, 3 and find your discomfort areas. And then is the daily routine done and just making any notes, and that'll just bring you more aware of where your posture is out of alignment. So now to open the floor to any questions. It's okay to unmute if you want. If there's no questions, then that's all good. Thanks for coming, guys. And oh, we've got a question.
Yeah, hi Tom.
Hi, Carol.
So I was just thinking about with the exercises and that with the postural and the scoliosis, does it like you have to keep doing these exercises like all the time? It's something you have to just be, like you said, consistent and like
Yeah, it's just been consistent and then getting the body to a point where it isn't out of that alignment because it's been in that posture for so long. It does take a bit of time to unwind the body.
mm,
And then when we are in a state where we're out of that misalignment, then you could probably drop back and just start looking at more strengthening and then just stretching what is tight over time. And it may not be an in-depth kind of program like, or it's only 15 minutes a day, but it might not be as big a focus. And then you can start to incorporate other things and progress further. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's all about progressing where you are in your program, and then you got to start at a baseline and then go where that's why we reassess every 4 weeks to then build upon what you've done and your foundations. You got to have those solid foundations in,
Yeah.
and then build on that to then start doing the more, I guess, fun things and I guess technical workouts like that people like to do.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Tom.
Awesome. I think we
That was
have
fun.
something in the chat here. I'm curious on the difference with kyphosis. Do these exercises complement that as well? Absolutely. So kyphosis, or thoracic kyphosis, is what you're referring to, and that's basically where you've got rounded shoulders and you're in it's a kyphotic state. So rounded shoulders, usually forward head posture, which results in a weak upper to mid back. So yeah, big ones there are just working on all your posterior kind of exercise, strengthening exercises like your prone cobra, um, single arm cable kind of pulls that are gonna be using your lower trapezius and your rhomboids, your minor and major, and yeah, that over time, and really with the kyphosis, you want to be targeting. There's different type of fibers in your muscles, and the ones you want to target are the tonic fibers, which are your postural muscles or your fibers. So how to do that is doing like a prone cobra for up to 3 to 5 minutes. So if you can hold a prone cobra for like 3 minutes plus, then you're really like you're going to be strong in your upper to middle back, and your posture is going to be pretty good. So focusing on that, on the tonic fibers and um, I guess exercises that'll bring the body back into a good alignment there are really going to be beneficial. Yeah. Thanks for the question. All right, guys, I think that's it, and appreciate you all coming.